A careful study of the scriptures reveals that God is very much concerned with the issues that affect our societies. However, every day, especially here in Nigeria and Africa, you see someone sharing invitation flyers of a church program, inviting the general public to their programs. But when you look at the theme of these programs, it is either 7 days of glory, break the evil pot, or who stole my wedding gown, and stuffs like that. My question is, when are we going to focus on issues bediviling our society? Wait a minute. I know someone is thinking societal issues are not the church's responsibility, but that's because we have not been properly trained. In Acts chapter 17 verse 16 down, we are told of how Paul, while he waited for his companions at Athens, his spirit was stirred in him when he saw the city wholly given to idolatry. Did you notice what provoked him? That a city was given to idolatry. Okay, let me get you to think for a moment. Don't you think Paul would also be restless if a city was wholly given to corruption? That is my point. Now let's put the average modern-day preacher in Paul's shoes, and I will tell what they would do in a similar situation. They would set up a church in Athens, get the people to come in, and teach them on subjects like the 3 types of heavens, the power of tongues, or the prophetic anointing. The question is, how would this help to solve the problem of idolatry that is in the land? When Paul saw that the city was wholly given to idolatry, he didn't shy away from the issue. Instead, he made a decision in which he chose to focus only on the pressing issue at hand, the prevalent idolatry that has bedeviled the city. Issues like corruption and bad leadership are really the main problem of Nigeria and Africa, just as idolatry was for Athens. And it is to our advantage that majority of these politicians who are responsible for leadership in our nations are members of our churches. God has entrusted us with them, so we can equip them with the godly training that is needed for their role as societal leaders. But unfortunately, each time they come to our churches, we feed them with trivia matters, we bamboozle them with prophetic displays, or we preach a money-raising sermon just to make some gain. We saw from the passage that Paul, having had a mandate from the Lord to disciple nations, and not just to gather folks for weekly services in a city that is wholly given to idolatry, like ours is wholly given to corruption, decided to address the main problem head-on. And it will interest you to know the first place he visited in his attempt to solve this problem, a Jewish temple in the city. Verse 17 says Paul entered the synagogue and disputed with the Jews. The New Revised Standard Version even says it better. It says, "So he argued in the synagogue with the Jews and the devout persons." Do you know why? These people were in that city. They saw the city wholly given to idolatry, and they did nothing other than held regular worship services. You see, Paul understands that it is the church's responsibility to build a healthy and God-fearing society. In our modern world, pastors and spiritual leaders must learn from this valuable lesson from Paul's unwavering commitment. We must not ignore the issues troubling our society to indulge in trivial topics. Our role is not to entertain or gloss over the pressing challenges that surround us. Neither are we called to just bombard men with stories of new realms and revelations. The Bible calls that ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. Just as Paul addressed the root cause of the Athenian struggle, we too must have the discernment to identify the core issues that plague our communities. We cannot shy away from difficult conversations or turn a blind eye to the prevailing problems. Instead, we must boldly confront them. Let us remember that our mission is not to cater to the whims of society or to seek popularity. Instead, our purpose is to disciple and transform sick nations into godly societies. May God grant us the wisdom, discernment, and unwavering commitment to fulfill this sacred task. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like and subscribe to my channel. And if you want to see more videos on church role in building and transforming society, please click on the one showing on your screen. And I will see you in my next video.